All right, welcome back to step 33 of the Excel tutorial. In step 33, we will review how to construct pivot tables. Pivot tables is one of the most crucial tools that Excel provides, and they could help you analyze data very easily. So what I want you to do for pivot tables is go back to the Excel spreadsheet that we have been working with, the sales data spreadsheet, the very first spreadsheet, the worksheet that you constructed, and select all this data from A through J in rows 1 through 11. All right, so select all this, and pivot tables you can construct them using just a couple of clicks. So go to the insert tab at the top, click on the insert tab, and the left corner you would see pivot table, upper left corner. So click on this using your mouse, select that, and you would get this kind of a pop-up. In this pop-up, it gives you the table and range that you selected. That's fine. This is what we selected. This is what we want. You don't have to change anything here. And the second thing is choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. I would always choose a new worksheet because I do not like the pivot table to be cluttered with the data that I have. So this is the setting that I choose. I would recommend that you choose as well, and click OK, and you would get a new sheet here. One of the first things that I would do is to rename this sheet 8 to pivot table step 33. And so once you rename this, you will see the pivot table as a schematic here. And the most crucial thing, the key thing that I want you to focus on is the pivot table fields on this side. So the pivot table fields would show you everything that you selected in this data. So for example, the region, the store number, date, sale item, sale price, quantity, all these are shown in these pivot table fields, and all the profits that you have. So now let's look at how to construct a very simple pivot table based on the item number, right? So here you would like to see the sales by item number, and you would like to see the total sales summarized by item number. We have already done this using the SUMIF example in the past. So for example, if you go back to sales data, and this cell, we wrote a SUMIF formula to get the total sale amount for item 10. And similarly, we did the same thing for item 12. Well, pivot table makes it much easier for you. And we have, all I need to do is I have to select item number and move this item number. See how this item number is placed under values. This is not where I want it to be. So you can drag and drop this. Select this with your mouse and drag and drop this to the rows section, and you have the item number here, right? So, and now you can select the total sale, and it would show you the sum of total sale. All right, so the sum of total sale by item 10. As you select these, you can see how the values are changing here. The sum of total sale for item 10 is $1,793.25. The sum of total sale for item 12 is $3,206.80. These should match what we have done using SUMIF in the sales data spreadsheet. and these are exactly the same things that we obtained. But you would notice that the in the case of pivot tables, Excel is doing all the work for you. You don't even have to write those SUMIF formula. So here I would change these to currency by selecting them, going to format cells and choosing the currency here. A couple of other things that I would like to show is the fact that we have this sum value here. Instead of sum value, if I do want to see the average, I can open this drop down menu, go to value field settings, and you have a bunch of formula that you could choose. In this case, if you want to find out the average sale amount for item 10 and item 12, you would select the average here, and that would show you the average sale amount for item 10 is $358 and average sale amount for item 12 is $641. If you want to change the average to max, for example, and all you have to do is go back here once again, look at the value field settings, change this from average to max. This is the max of all item sales for item 10. This is the max of all item sales for item 12. So you could change these as you choose. I'm going to go back and change them back to the total, because total is probably more meaningful in this case. Total means sum of all item sales for item 10 and item 12. So now we can also use this to draw charts. So the same thing, if I choose all this and go back here and go to recommended charts, and I can choose one of the recommended charts, which is the column chart, and I click OK, I would get this, right? So total, and here I could change this to total sales by item. For item 10, I'm seeing the total sales as 10. For item 12, I'm seeing the total sales as this bar chart, right? So so using this data, I could do a bunch of things. The other feature that I would like to show with this spreadsheet is that the filters. So let's say that I want to only find out the items that are sold on a specific date, right? For some reason, your manager comes to you and asks you to find out all the items sold in, for example, March of 2015. And so you could add those filters in pivot tables. So I selected the date and I brought the date here. It brought the date here to the rows, but I don't want the rows, the date to be in the rows. I want to filter this data by the rows. So I select this date, I drag and drop it into the filter section here, and I get the date in the filter section. Once you do that, you would see the filter at the top here where my mouse is pointing, and you can, right now it is saying it's not filtering anything because everything is included. So now you could open this filters section drop down box, and you can select the dates that you like. All right, so so I know it's showing a bunch of dates, and we can let me just go back and see what dates are there in March for us. So March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Those are the things I'm going to select in these filters. March 2nd, March 3rd, I think I need to I need to select multiple items. Click on this, and that way I can get all these things. March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. I click OK, and it is now going to show me just for the items, the sum of total sales for items sold on these March days, March 2nd through 6th. Now I don't see anything about item 10. That is to be understood because item 10 is not sold, was not sold in any of the March dates that we selected. March dates, only item 12 was sold. That's why I get this data. But hopefully this example gave you how to construct pivot tables with a few clicks of the mouse, and how powerful it can be for you to select data, summarize data, find averages, find max, and so on and so forth. And also use that data to show, to pictorially, graphically represent that data using Excel. So now we are going to do the same thing for another example of pivot tables. I want you to go back to sales data and select this once again and go to the insert tab and click on pivot table, and the same exercise as before. Don't change any of these. You do want a new worksheet, and I'm going to rename this worksheet as PT for pivot table sales by region. And now I'd select this, and the thing is I want to find out the total sales by region. I'll get the region here, and I'm also going to get the total sale and the sum of total sale. Change this back to currency, and I leave it as sum, and I would like to change the filters by store number. So for example, I would select the store number and I'll move it to the filters, and here I'll go back here and then select multiple items. Instead of selecting, I would only select 400, 500, and 600. And so in other words, for stores 400, 500, and 600, how much were the total sales in Midwest versus Northwest versus Southwest? That's what is being shown here. So this is an additional example of constructing pivot tables. When you do exercises for homeworks in SMGT 335, sometimes I ask you to do specific, complete the exercises using specific formula like sum ifs, averages, and so on and so forth. Sometimes I leave it open-ended. So when there is an open-ended question, most of the time it might be beneficial, it might be easier for you to use pivot tables to find the answers for those questions. Pivot tables can really help you with your work life, with your professional life, and in your personal life if you are using technology. This whole course, if one thing I want to emphasize is that the main purpose of this course is to make technology your friend, and use technology as efficiently as possible so that you could reduce the time that you spend and in finding out mundane things, but instead looking at what you find out and analyzing it, and use higher level of thinking based on what technology gives you. I hope this Excel tutorial gave you a good foundation, and if you already knew Excel, hopefully I was able to highlight a few things that you could do in a different way, in a better manner. So with this tutorial, you should be very well equipped for most of the homework assignments that require Excel in this class. So please practice, and if you have any doubts or questions, please reach out to me. I'm always very pleased to interact with the students. Student success is my main goal, and I would like to help you with understanding these concepts much better. Thank you.